Super Rugby Friday games, folks. We've seen two of them. One from NZ, one from Oz. We'll go through some key events, some stats, and then I'm going to go to bed. First one, Crusaders, Highlanders. I think that's the best crowd we've had in Super Rugby this season, right? Just in terms of being very vocal. It certainly wasn't sold out by any means. The commentator seemed to be hinting there was around, or at least 10,000 people there, which must make it one of the bigger crowds of the year. It's harder to know in Super Rugby when sometimes you've got 50,000 seat stadiums, even if they're, a third full, they still look empty. So, good crowd, loud, getting the Waisake Naholo chant going, which is bizarre because he wasn't playing for either team. But there you go, it was boisterous, very boisterous. And they were treated to a good first half and a scoreless second half, but certainly the drama went all the way to the finish. Crusaders get the win, 17-14. 2 tries in the first half, one through Newell, one through Leicester Fainga'anuku. Apologies, his name is a touch long, so couldn't squeeze it into that gap. And the Highlanders, Mikaele-Tu'u and Gregory, so they got 2 as well. Highlanders actually had the lead a couple of times. They got the first try. Mikaele-Tu'u, line out move, him and Frizzell, back and forth. Good stuff. Inventive, kind of typical Tony Brown stuff. 7-0. Crusaders hit back pretty quickly though. Relentless pressure. Newell, the big forward on Aaron Smith, that's a mismatch all day long. So fair enough. 7 points apiece. Fainga'anuku got his one after Gilbert had got a nice kind of kick ball through. Well, Gilbert's the one who set up the Gregory try. And then the Crusaders hit back. So kind of proper tit for tat stuff, right? Half time it looked like it was going to be more of the same in the second half. Run meters was 134-92 in favour of the Landers. Kicks 18-12 in favour of the Landers. So a fair bit of boot to ball, to be honest. Turnovers conceded 7-3 to the Crusaders. So not the best stats, but defensively they were tackling 96%, which is huge, and it continues as well. The Landers were a wee bit disappointing with 77. Second half, both sides, to be fair, have missed penalties. Havili missed one before the first half ended. Mitch Hunt missed one at the start of the second half when they probably should have gone for a line out because it was a good attacking position, but not the best spot for a kick. But I guess hindsight's 20/20, right? Later on, Mitch Hunt missed touch with a kick the ball dead when they did decide to go for a line out, you know what I mean? So I guess you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. To be fair, I thought Fakatava added a fair bit of pace when he came on as well. Good to see him getting more than just kind of 5 minutes at the end because that guy's development needs more game time. There was a red card at the death with Klein putting in a shoulder, no arms tackle to the head, which generally these days will get you red carded all day long. But the Landers weren't able to get any points. Neither side was able to get any points. It was really, really quite bizarre. So first time I've seen a scoreless half, especially between, well, at least a game involving the Crusaders. And goodness knows how long. Final stats, the Landers get more possession and territory, but only marginally. They get more run meters, though, by a lot, 407 to 212. The Crusaders keep turning the ball over 14-9. But man, did they defend 95% tackles to the Landers 72. But you got to be a little bit careful with the tackling completion stats because if there's not a chance to make a tackle, there's no missed tackle registered. Clean breaks is 7-1 to the Highlanders. So nobody even had a chance to make a tackle. It was clean through. 7-1. How the heck did they only score 2 tries? They fell off a few tackles to the Landers. So kind of 6-1, half a dozen the other. One's got the clean breaks, one's got the defenders beaten. Will Jordan, 8 defenders beaten for him, 66 run meters, continues to be dangerous. Frizzell's had his best game in a wee while. 59 run meters, 3 defenders beaten, a clean break from him. Blackadder, 24 out of 25 tackles, more than Christie for once. At the end, the Crusaders, it was guys like Blackadder, it was guys like Reece, just getting turnovers to nullify what the Landers were chucking at them. So certainly a different game. You won't see a game like that most weeks, but it was typical Southern stuff in that it was a close one. So losing bonus point for the Landers is still not a win. They would like to get the win because they're still winless, but yeah, there were certainly some encouraging signs for them there, if nothing else. They're home to Moana Pacifica next, so they should be the favourites for that one, but we'll see. And the Crusaders are away to the Hurricanes. In the game from Aussie, ends up being a pretty lopsided one with the Tars getting the job done over the Drua, 38 points to 14. It's a bonus point win. We see the return of Michael Hooper. He plays a half. It was kind of a tentative start early, but the first try was a bit of a peach. Is that a pun? To your man Peach on the left wing. Good kind of football skills from the Tars to put the ball through, and then him to kind of grubber it as much as he could, and nice finish. The TMO was having a bit of a laugh though, wasn't he? He must have wanted to intervene in like 3 events early. He tried to TMO the Peach try, and he was rejected. Then Habosi scores a cracker for the Drua on turnover ball. The TMO tries to have a go at that one. And then there's a maul try through Gamble, and the TMO wants to have a look at that one. All 3 calls are rejected by the ref. So, bro, stop slowing the game down, man. I know you're going to have a look, but I don't know. I feel like unless it's really obvious you think there's a mistake, then you probably need to leave well enough alone. But anyway, that's just me being a grumpy old man. The forwards of the Tars made them, made the Fijian guys work for it. I mean, Parecki ends up getting one. Holloway gets one. Hooper gets one. So it's a lot of forwards ending up with tries. But you do have to keep in mind, Nagusa got a red card in that first half with a swinging arm to the head. It's another thing these days will pretty much get you red, and it was made worse by the fact that there was a yellow card to Lamani for like his 3rd high tackle, the scrum half. Or what's he doing making high tackles? But yeah, he'd been warned by the ref about his tackling technique, and he kept getting it wrong. So for a while, it was 15-13, and the Tars scored a try. They'd scored 1 try pretty much straight after the red card. And then when 15-13, they scored a try. So every time the Tars went a man up, essentially they capitalised on it. And they scored one when it was just the yellow card. So bang, bang, bang. That's kind of 21 points. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you got men down. To be fair, the Drua did get one back through Nasove. That was one of the forwards, one of the Fijian forwards with the basketball pass, which almost got intercepted, but managed to go into some Drua hands out the right wing. That was good, but I mean, final play goes to Mark Nawani-Tawase, who's got another long name, which I couldn't squeeze on the board. To finish at 38-14. So yeah, bonus point win for the Tars. Pretty good stuff. To be fair, the Drua, they kept fighting right to the end, man. They were trying to get one last try. But they just couldn't get it done. You wouldn't have blamed them if they just wanted to kick it out, but no, these guys were fighting and trying to get some points, but couldn't quite get them over. So interestingly, like the Tars have got more possession, more territory, but the run meters is not that different. 352 to 328 with the Tars edging it, but with a fair bit more ball and more carries. So yeah, and not that much kicking compared to the first game. Like the kickings is 12 by the Drua, 17 by the Tars. That would have been one of the teams in the first game, their kind of grand total for this whole match. So yeah, fair bit of running rugby. The Drua line out, it's 11 from 14. It's kind of inching its way up, but it's still a bit low. Tars are 18 from 19, kind of showing how it's done. And penalties conceded 16-9. That's a bit of a killer for the Drua guys as well. But clean breaks is 3 apiece, despite having less balls. So the Drua guys can beat defenders. They can get clean breaks. Line out still needs a bit of work, like I said, but and the penalties keeping guys on the field was always going to make their job harder. Habosi, man, I love watching that guy. I mentioned him in the preview being one of the best wingers in the competition, if not the best thus far. He gets on the board, 98 run meters, a clean break, 5 defenders beaten. Charlie Gamble, 14 from 14 tackles, not a bad shift. One of you guys mentioned Caleb Muntz's tackling in the comments of the preview. He made 13 from 13, so according to that, he did all right. Bell makes 4 defenders beaten. Harris makes 4 defenders beaten. So, some good performances in this one from both sides. But yeah, the Drua will be a bit disappointed. Home to the Brumbies next. When I say home, I still mean in Australia rather than Fiji. And the Tars are on the bye. So there you go, folks. 2 games on the Friday for Super Rugby. good in different ways. Certainly a lot more tries in that second one, but the game wasn't close. But we had a couple of cards. And the first one, no scoring in the second half. Just bizarre. But anyway, the games went kind of as predicted in terms of the results going to the teams that were the favourites. But don't know if anyone quite saw them playing out that way. You guys let me know your thoughts on the games. How do you think they went? And I'm off to bed. Talk to you guys again soon. See you later.